Fast Signs have been supplying signs to companies and organisations in Leeds and West Yorkshire since 1995. From vehicle graphics, event banners and directional signs to shop fronts, internal wall graphics, they help companies make a statement and stand out. They have a great team who can help with the design, production and installation of your signs. Check them out at fastsigns.com/Leeds or call into their office on York Road on the outskirts of the city centre. And also make sure you mention the Lot Pod. Hi everyone, welcome to the Lot Pod, the Leeds Rhinos Lot 17-8 podcast, kindly sponsored by Fast Signs. Eddie, producer Chris and Duncan here to review Hull versus Leeds Rhinos. Duncan, how the devil are you? I just ask you that as you take a heroic swig.
Very good. Perfect weekend for me.
It was Palace, absolutely.
Yeah, amazing.
Phenomenal.
Absolutely amazing.
How buzzing were you?
I spent last night I went to bed about 1 o'clock. I was just watching like clips on my phone and stuff, and I just spent like from full time to when I went to bed. I think I was just crying out all night. Just in
pandemonium.
Yeah.
European tour.
Yeah.
Now, I was chuffed for you. I was absolutely chuffed. For those that aren't aware, Duncan is a Palace fan, and they beat Man City 1-0 in the FA Cup final. Chris, how are you?
Good. Thought I might have been hungover again today, but
you're not. No.
I'm bright-eyed and bushy
the
tails.
pod told us that.
Bright-eyed.
No hangover.
Exactly.
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. So we're going to review the game. We're, of course, going to hand out our Matt Frawley Fast Signs Player of the Match. We're going to speak about Tom Holroyd's new deal. And, of course, we will discuss the biggest question ever asked, ever posed to any Rhinos fan. Are you going to Vegas? So another bumper podcast. Let's start from the top. Match review panel time. Leeds 18, Hull 16. What positives can the Rhinos take from this one, Chris? I'm getting really good at asking people a question when they're just about
it's
to.
My fault, innit? I could see you going to ask me a question. Loads. I think the biggest positive for me is that we've had a couple this year where we've been on the wrong side of them, and we've been better team. So it was just good to get that one over the line.
Yeah.
And just the ending. It was a proper headingly Friday night sort of experience, wasn't it?
It was absolutely awesome. Duncan, what positives from you?
Like Chris said,
we've
won a close game. We've been on the wrong side of a couple of 2-pointers and 4-pointers. It's nice to be on the right side of it. Player-wise, old guard.
Yeah.
The boys are back in town. Ryan Hall and Callum Watkins were absolutely class. And I thought Sam Lasoni was really, really good.
Go on, Sam.
Again, I thought he was really. I thought he was really good. But no, it was pleasing to see. And Ash Hanley's run. That's a massive positive.
Yeah.
But no,
he was class all game. Yeah, I think he's really settled into.
He's not a centre though, is he?
Yeah.
No, he's not a centre.
Really settled in to being a centre.
There's a winger. I agree with you guys. For my positive, I've got Miller, I've got Hall, and I've got the pack. So let's get straight into it. What did you think? What did you make of our start though, Duncan? Kind of going 10-0 down, and what were your thoughts on?
I thought
when it was 10-0, were you worried?
Until Rapana went down.
Is it Rapana? Because I'm going Rapana.
Rapana. Rapana, whatever.
We'll go with Rapana.
When he went down, after that, we kind of like, it took the fizz completely out of the game. I thought we were on top, we were doing everything right, and then all of a sudden it just...
Yeah, I don't know we
forgot. We just forgot how to play for about... It was like the... games at the start, like the games at the start of the season. I was trying to think who it was. Wakefield, when we switched off for like 10-12 minutes and they scored 2 tries.
Fateful day.
It was a bit like that, but we went completely away from game plan and started like looking like we were going to panic. And then, thankfully, got that try before half time, which was big.
Crucial is the word.
Yeah. And no, I thought... It was a weird one. I don't think they played that. I don't think they played that well. I didn't go, they're ripping us to pieces. There was moments where they had individuals that were doing the job, but I don't think as a team they weren't. It wasn't like Wakefield at the start of the year where they were punching massive holes in us and there was loads
looking good and
they
playing
were
well.
Yeah.
No, we looked comfortable.
I thought we were controlling them all right, and then
it were a good game actually. I will say that it were a really enjoyable game, and defensively both sides were pretty good, weren't they?
Yeah.
Bit of a war of attrition.
Yeah.
How did you feel when we were 10 down?
I always thought we were going to win it. I didn't think we were going to leave it that late, but we looked fitter than them. They looked shot at certain points. We dealt with SASE really well.
Good player. Really good player.
In fact, I thought they played better when he were off.
Really?
I don't know why. I think maybe it might be we were more alert when he were on, but so I always thought we might come back. I think when they scored first in second half, I was like, oh God. But we didn't. The thing about this team this year, they don't let their heads go down, do they?
No. When it was 16-4, I thought we'd lost.
I still thought we were going to win it.
I still thought we had a chance.
Really?
Yeah.
I never felt like we were going to they were going to go away with it. Like I said, I didn't think it was going to happen like it did, but I thought we might have got back earlier than that because we seemed dominant a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good game.
Two well-coached sides, and I think they're well-coached as well. Cartwright's done a good job there, but they're probably like a year behind where we are.
I think they're further.
Well, I think they've just got a few too many old players out, so they're going to have to...
Just on their squad, I don't pay much attention to any of Super League side, really, but when I looked at their team sheet, I thought that's a lot of... They seem to have signed a lot of average players who were just available. Caesar, Cust, Hardy,
signed a lot of experience because there was a lot of
experience there. But it seemed to me like that's their. I don't know much about Hull, but it seemed to me that's their first year of transition.
Possibly, yeah.
And after back maybe 2 seasons.
It is good to have them back playing well. I think.
Oh, they're better than they were last year, without a doubt.
Because atmosphere were great, wasn't it? They brought loads, didn't they?
Yeah,
brought more than Hull KR, which Hull KR fans didn't like.
Wow, they brought more than 6.9 million.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I think it's good that we've got, because it's a bit of rivalry with them, isn't it? And
it's
I think
it's a good game. Yeah.
It's good. It's as much as it was good to wallop them last year. I mean, it's not good for games, is it?
No, if you wallop them, no. The Brodie Croft tackle on Tom Briscoe, I believe. Big time play from a big game player. I felt Croft went rather well considering his first game back from injury. How did you think he went, Doug?
Yeah, I thought him and Smith looked like they were just coming back from injury, though, if you know what I mean. They weren't. I think everyone's expecting when you put Croft and Smith in that they're going to come back and they're going to be like they've never left the ground running, never left the side,
straight back in form.
It's going to take them a few weeks to get back into it. But no, I thought out of the two, I thought Croft looked a little bit rusty. But then in the key moments, like his pass to McDonald before half time, the tackle got on Briscoe, I thought he stood up in the key moments. With Cam, I think it was like he had that miss, didn't he, at marker, which was a bit sloppy. But it's probably just down to fitness, just and game rust. When you're tired, that's when the mistakes come in. But he's another one of the players where he don't get much leeway from anyone. So it's just like if he makes a mistake, it's like, oh,
he wasn't
rubbish.
on for long neither, was he? So I'm sure that worked plan.
I think, but it's refreshing to have these players back and not like be rushing them straight back into the team and be like, right, we need Cam to do 80 or whatever, and we can manage his minutes, and then hopefully he gets more away at Cass. Croft will be better. They'll both be better for just the game.
Getting in the legs, without a doubt. Brodie's going to be similar to Lackey in that returning from injury, week on week, just getting better.
Definitely, yeah.
And better
I think
better.
He did what he needed to do. He didn't. I mean, he made a couple of nice half breaks, didn't he? But it's just going to take time. How long's he been out? 4 or 5 weeks?
Yes, wow.
And with an injury as well. Do you know what I mean? So he had an hamstring, didn't he?
Yeah.
So he's not going to be 100% whether he is or not. Do you know what I mean? He's not going to be 100% game fit, is he?
No. But he's going to get better game on game.
And we've got a good run of games for him to bed in.
Yeah.
I'm a bit surprised Jack went on bench.
Yes, me too. I couldn't quite understand that.
I would have put him on instead of Bentley, but got it done.
I think he probably went that way to manage their pack with them having like SAS.
Yeah, they're a big side, aren't they?
They're a big side. I think that'd be probably the reasoning for going down that route. Although Cooper Jenkins must have been injured because he'd be in the 17.
I'm sure last time he played, he didn't play very long and his leg was strapped up. So whether
do you want to play 10 minutes?
Whether he's got a bit of an injury,
something like he had one stint,
because that was a perfect game for him, really.
Yeah,
so he must be.
But again, missing a few players, we've got the job done and cemented our place in, put a bit of a gap.
It's a massive win with that. As far as the table's concerned, because if we'd have lost that, you're back swimming with bottom end at 6, aren't you? We're putting a bit of a gap, and we're only 1 point behind Lee, who I think we can
batter. Yeah.
Well, I think we can overtake them.
And Brodie, with that, as you mentioned, that great pass to McDonald for the try for 10-4 at half time. The pack roundup. You are our resident.
Duncan's pack roundup.
Yeah. Get a jingle. Duncan's pack roundup. Don't want to sound like that. We'll work on it. We're workshopping it. And you mentioned Lasoni.
Yeah.
At the start of the pod. I thought it went really well. And I feel like now he's almost understanding of his role. We've mentioned it loads on here about he has a really specific, and where every Rhinos fan on the planet, everyone understands what his role is, but he seems to be, I don't know what it is, whether it's, and again, something we've said, echoed before, if he's playing for a new deal or we don't know, but he seems to really be understanding exactly what he does at the moment, and he's playing well.
Yeah, I think he's always a strong carrier, but there's times where he can get up and have a sloppy play the ball and give the ball away, or he'll run the ball in and pass when all you want him to do is just tuck it under his arm and smash the people out of the way. And I think what he did really well as well was he picked out the smaller players to run at and just get through them and get through the line.
Say that about him and as a criticism. I'm like, that's what you want your props to do.
Why would you want him to run at SAS?
Exactly. He's running prop to prop all game.
I thought that's a really weird criticism of a prop.
But no, I thought he went really well. I thought the bench was a bit, like Chris said. I thought the bench was a bit. It was pack heavy, and I can see why he's gone down that route, because he probably thought, right, we're not going to need Jack because we'll build the game from the start. We'll get in front, and then I can just rotate my pack and
keep them fresh.
We'll keep them fresh. Mm-hmm. But actually, it turned out that we needed points, and we were looking to the bench, and we didn't have anyone to bring on in the key positions for points. So I would like to see Jack get reintroduced into the team. I think especially while Ackers is out, we need someone on the bench who can just sort of come on and give us a bit of attacking spark.
Yeah.
But no, pack-wise, Callum's added loads on it.
I thought there was a moment when Callum and KP went off at the same time. And I thought that was...
Yeah,
we certainly lost something. Yeah. Losing both of them. I don't know whether...
KP's a real find, isn't he?
He's unbelievable. I'm in awe, but now, as I always do, I'm just petrified that the NRL are just going to say, right, you shouldn't be here, mate. You should be back over there.
I'm trying to think when he's had a bad game.
Yeah, he's never
so
had
far this year.
His career.
Not in his Leeds career.
You look back and you're like, he's just solid. Like everything that he just does a job at.
It's all to an incredibly high standard.
Yeah.
That my biggest fear now with him is genuinely the NRL looking and going, this kid should not be playing in Super League.
Yeah. The thing is, he's not the biggest prop, is he? But he gets through line. Defensively, nothing gets past him. Not
at all.
No.
And like Dunk says, he does his job, but that sounds as though he's just going through the motions. He's doing a really important job.
Yeah.
But I think they're all the pack are doing the job. Like I sat here and again, I'll eat humble pie about McDonald. Like I said, he's just a grafter, and he needs to add.
Since you said those words, he's been in the form of his life since you muttered.
And since we've had a dig at Lasoni, he's been
Maybe they all.
I'll tell you, just on Lasoni, we don't score that last try if he doesn't do that run and get up and play it
the ball
really quickly. Yeah. Because we talked about it before. The rucks were really slow, weren't they?
Yeah.
But he were managing to bounce up floor, get up,
get quick play the ball.
And we wouldn't have scored that last try.
No.
Yeah. But I think, like I said, I think they're all doing the jobs, and they all, like Holroyd when he came on, he scored that try, and that was just through sheer determination, and hitting the ball as hard as he could.
No, from there.
And I think it's refreshing to see a Leeds side who, for me anyway, that the pack is actually like the best part of the team, and we've got players off the back of that like Connor, Croft, Miller, that if we need to get, when we need the tries or need a bit of creativity, we've got that.
There's a reason throughout the year that every game's been close. There's been games when we've lost and we should have won. This is down to the pack, right? This pack is keeping us in all these games.
And it's how the coach, isn't it?
Yeah.
You do your job.
Yeah,
if they all know the job, that's what he wants them to do. It's just good coaching. And maybe it's taken Lasoni a while to get into how Brad's coaching
Perhaps,
him.
Yeah.
And he's doing the job that you want him to do.
Yeah.
If he carries on like this, then there's questions about the new contract, isn't there?
Yeah.
Because when we sat here and we've sort of gone, would you give him a new deal? We kind of all just went, probably wouldn't give him one. But now you're looking and he's stringing performances together, and the more that he can do that week after week after week, at the end of the day, if we get rid of Lasoni, we're then looking for a Lasoni to replace Lasoni.
That's exactly what I was just going to say. So you've got to weigh it up, haven't you?
Yeah.
Can you find somebody else that's...
If we can find someone that's as big and will do as good a job, then yeah. But
is this Sam Lasoni form? Is this the best version of Sam Lasoni we've seen? And is it down to Brad Arthur?
I would say so.
I'd say, yeah.
So when Brad Arthur leaves at the end of the year,
if he leaves at the end of the year,
when?
I don't think it's as nailed on as you think.
Okay, so is it? So let's break it down ever so slightly.
We said this about Gannon that he wasn't going to go.
Yeah, we did.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Is it just a BA thing then?
Yeah, but that
how can I put it? Would you be worried if or when Brad Arthur goes and Sam Lasoni is with us another year or two?
No, not really. I think because he's probably learned from him, and it doesn't mean that you're just going to... What Brad Arthur's always said, didn't he? He said, they don't need me, they know what they need to do now. So I don't think so, but it's a really difficult one, wasn't it? Because on face of it, you'd think, let him go. But then if he's going to do his role well...
Yeah, you got to keep
There's
him.
not... The style of that prop, there's not loads of them about, is there? So where do you... And you need somebody like that.
And anyone like that is always the one that people look at, like a player like Lasoni, people look at and they'll go... Oh wow! Because he gets you on the edge of your seat.
Fans
when
love him.
He's a fan favourite.
Everyone around me, because I sit near a lot of families and kids and that.
They love him.
But I think this next, after we get past Cass and Wakey, when even the Wakey game, because he was poor in the first game against Wakey.
They all were though.
And I think that's like sort of when we get him on our patch in the M&D round, it'd be nice for us to just go, right, this is what we should have done in the first week. But they've had a good result against Wire today.
They're a good side. They're a good side, but they're not going to be ultra consistent, are they?
It's a side we need to beat at home, and a bit like FC, that are going to might be there or thereabouts for a top 6 spot. But if we've aspirations of top 4, and
we need to put.
Yeah,
I didn't realise Hull haven't won at home.
No,
you're not going to get in play. You need to win some games at home.
They've had a few. Haven't they played a lot of like decent sides at home though?
Yeah.
Wigan.
They've played Lee as well, haven't they?
KR, Lee.
But yeah,
Harry Newman obviously was very vocal at the end, winding up Aidan Caesar. I think that's both players. Caesar was at it all game to Harry.
Game he were at it.
Harry gives him some at the end. Caesar just can't accept it, and
I tell you what,
they have a bit of a
years. Even last year, Harry would have given it back during the game.
Yeah.
So at least he's learned
to do it at the end.
And everyone were up in arms about it. I'm like, All he did was that.
I really don't get what the issue is.
I don't.
I hate this thing where everyone's like, "Oh, Harry's petulant. He's a kid. He's got a massive ego." How has he? You stand on a rugby field and you've got 4 blokes in front of you giving you grief all game. Of course, at the end of the game, you're going to have the last word, or you can say something. And if he's going to do that at the end of the game, what's it matter?
Yeah.
Like, I don't get as Leeds fans why we jump on the back of him doing that.
It wound Wilkin up anyway.
Yeah, but he's always going to see the wrong side of Newman, because it goes back to when we played at Saints away, which I didn't agree with what he did about when he went on that rant at the referee.
Yeah.
But I think Leeds fans go back to that and say that he's petulant, but actually this year he's shown nothing like him. He's
excellent.
He's been very good for us, and if teams are always going to look at Harry and going to go, we're going to wind him up.
Yeah.
Why do teams look at Harry and go, we want to wind him up? Because they need to put him off his game because he's a bloody good centre.
Yeah, I don't know. So much stick he's been getting, and I'm like, give it. That's all he did, and I didn't mind it actually. I'm like, go on, Harry.
Which he did it
I'm
even
like,
more.
go on, Harry.
I mean, I don't know how he gets stick when there's the likes of Will Price on a rugby field.
And Mikey Lewis.
Like, how will... Yeah, but at least Mikey Lewis can back it up with ability. Will Price is garbage. I don't get... Sorry.
Clip that AI.
I don't understand
We'll get that on the socials.
How, like, a guy like Price... I mean,
do you know what? They played worse since he joined.
Well, he was whooping before that captain's challenge, wasn't he? Because he was whooping all the fans up when he thought we'd knocked on. And it was just like every little skirmish he was in, he was ruffling heads, and I just thought, I don't really mind if Harry gets up, because if it were me, I'd be want to get up and stick one on him, but obviously you can't do that now.
It's one of those things where if you do have a player like that, you live by the sword, you die by the sword, don't you? So if you're doing it in game and you're chelping and you're winding each other up, one of you is going to be on the wrong side. And if you're on the wrong side of it, you take your meds and you take it on the chin. I'd rather Harry keep to his game, trying as best he can, and then at the end, when it's said and done and we've won, then
did you notice did you see what Jake Connor did at the end? So all Hull fans were singing not very nice songs about him, and at end of game, he started his walk over to the south stand at the north stand and was clapping, and then he clapped all the Hull fans and walked all the way across the field clapping the Hull fans, and then turned to the south stand. I thought it was just amazing. But that's like a player we've signed where people say, "Oh, the petulant," but that petulance
not seen any of it, have we?
But it boils down to leadership. So we've obviously got strong leadership in the group, which is a massive question of when we had Rowan, people were saying Cam's not a captain, Ash ain't a vice captain. Now that these players have been reined in, it ain't just coming from Arthur. It's got to be on the field. There's got to be some influence on the field.
I think
while
Ash
they're
is
out
a
there.
great captain.
It's a good point.
And obviously when we spoke to him on that pod that we did, you could tell that he was going to be a good captain. He's really calm, isn't he? And he's a good player, and he'll do.
And
I don't think he's a massive talker, but I think it's when he does say stuff.
Well, when he says stuff, they listen, and then if he's going to lead by example with carries like that at the end of a game to get us in position to win the game, to me that was a captain's not.
It was. I thought Bestie of the pod, we hadn't spoken about him for ages. I thought he had a really good game, particularly in defence. Led our defensive efforts, really 60 tackles.
Jared
O'Connor.
He did miss a few, didn't he, when they were flying out?
Out.
Jared, if you're going to do it, please
make a stick
and do it legally. But to be fair, I'm not that bothered because it does put them off the run, doesn't it? And then there's always, because we're a good defensive side, we've always got someone else.
I think it's where he runs from, where he's got to be careful, because he was doing somewhere he was like fourth man out, and he had a bit further to travel to get to them, and there was sort of like one pass and then they're hitting a gap. But no, defensively, there's never a question over Jared. Sometimes his distribution can let him down. And I felt, again, on Friday, there was some sloppy passing in there. But I think effort-wise, defensive-wise, you're never going to turn around to Jared and say...
There's an issue.
There's an issue, because there never will be. It's now he's got to polish the other side of his game.
And it's difficult when we've not got another hooker.
That's true.
Probably why Jack would have been good on bench. But... I know he can play 80 minutes, but it's not easy for a modern day hooker, is it, to get through 80?
Oh yeah, well, anyone doing 60 tackles and still
60 tackles,
still flying off the line at the end of the game. It screams
phenomenal.
Fitness, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I just think we need a foil of another hooker. If Andy Ackers can get his form back, somebody that is quick and make them runs.
And if it ain't him, then it's Jack.
Yeah, then they'll complement each other, won't they? But he played really well.
You have a different aspect on there. Then Lucky Miller, 4 conversions, but he only kicked 1. It's something that we've sort of dusted around, danced around, kind of flirted with in recent weeks. But Chris, you are the I know they call the producer. Well, you are the producer of the podcast, but you are the chairman of the Lucky Miller fan club. Are you starting to worry about our Lucky Miller's goal kicking record?
We need to be kicking. I know some of them were difficult, weren't they? But one of them wasn't that he missed, I think. He should have converted his first try, I think.
Mackers, yeah.
But what do you do? Obviously, Connor's not kicking for a reason.
But why?
Whether he's got some niggling injury that you can play, but you don't want to be kicking, or Brad wants him to focus on his game and not have to worry about kicking.
The goal kicking aspect.
I think it won't cause us an issue so much in the regular season, but when you play teams like Wigan, looking right forward to the back end of the year when we're in playoffs.
Grand final. Oh, right. Same thing.
That's where you're going to need the 2
Having
points.
said that, can you remember Harry Smith at Wigan when he first took over kicking? He was terrible.
He was shocking.
Yeah.
And then back end of year, he started kicking them, didn't he? So can we not get bloody Kev back in? Just a few sessions. Because I'm sure he can kick better than he is doing, but what do you do? Unless Jack's there, I don't see...
that's what I was going to say. There's options, but we've
Jack's
all
just
asked,
not playing
we've all
every
asked
game,
why,
is he?
Yeah. Well, we said, didn't we, after Magic, why is Jack not kicking? And we said about he might not get the minutes, and that's got to be what it is, because you've got to stick with whoever's going to play the minutes has got to be... You need someone that's going to be playing 80, that's going to be your kicker.
Yeah. They've got to be in the field all the time. That's
just get some practice in, Lucky, and become good.
I didn't even look. There were times when he was kicking where I was just like, when Lum scored in corner, I was like, I ain't kicking this. Like, and you just without. But like Chris said, it'd be lucky if he just stepped up to the ball and slotted it straight over
with his left foot.
You don't know. Look, and at the end we've won. We didn't need his goal kicking. If he'd have kicked his goals, we'd have won 24-16.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it's one of them.
It's not an issue until it's an issue, innit?
Yeah,
it's
not an issue until we lose a game by 2 points and he's missed 3 conversions.
He's missed 3. Yeah. He might get better. It might improve, like you say. It might be that Harry Smith effect.
Don't know, but there's obviously a reason Connor's not kicking.
Yeah,
has to be, because it was so sudden, wasn't it? He was kicking so well.
To be fair, his form is so good, isn't it, Connor?
Yeah, he's
if it is because he might not want the extra responsibility. I don't know. He might be like, I'd prefer not to do it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We'll see what we...
Or potentially something.
Hopefully get some kicking practice on Saturday anyway.
I'm sure I'll get better. Yeah, he will. We'll rack up 64 tries. Another try for Riley Lum. Great knee sliding finish. We just watch the Rickle almost weekly now about Riley Lum. What do you think of his performance, Dunk?
I say it all the time. Everyone forgets Sevo's injured.
I know.
That's the biggest compliment. That's the biggest compliment you can pay Riley Lum.
To Riley Lum.
We'd have scored a fair few more tries if Sevo were there.
We would, and I think I saw...
And that's not a detriment to Riley. He's just a young kid.
For me, with Riley, he's like... This is like almost a year in front of where he should be.
Everything now is a bonus, right?
Yeah. But I think the only thing is, he probably needs a little bit more like the Max Simpson gym diet, where they just come back and they're just like massive.
Yeah, because he's getting put in touch a bit, sidelines a bit, isn't he?
I think now, like, I mean, potentially, if Sevo had been fit all year, I mean, it's all ifs and buts, but that's what we do.
That's what we do.
He might have been one of them where they were looking to like loan him out, but now for me, he's jumped above Edgill, where there was a conversation about, right, a wing spot's available, who gets it, Edgill or Lum. Now it's like, well, it's Riley. Like next year, if they're all fit, and Sevo or Hall go down, it's Lum that comes in.
Let's face it, he's got on the other side at wing, he's got one of the best wingers there's ever been to learn from.
Yeah.
And he's inside a guy that's played wing.
Yeah.
So it's gonna. I'd just like to see him, because he knows he's going to get dragged in touch sometimes. He comes inside a bit too often, doesn't he? And we spoke about it before, didn't we? That Ryan Hall said he's going to teach him. Don't go for the space.
Yeah, take the contact, and then
I think you can see the things that he needs to improve on. But he's never going to let you down. And the thing I like is he doesn't go into his shell when he makes a mistake.
No,
he don't hide front ball. He'll still want to take a carry. Like, he'd been put in touch twice, but he still scored in the corner when we needed him to and finished it off. So, look, kids make mistakes. They're going. So calling them kids probably wrong, but youngsters will make mistakes in games because they're learning how to play first team.
I don't mind at all.
And the interesting thing is, like as Duncan said there, it's almost like the next cab off the rank in terms of the academy takes that chance. If Alfie doesn't fracture his jaw in pre-season,
he'd be in that swing spot, wouldn't he?
He's probably playing this year as he did majority of last year. Riley steps in and just takes that chance. It's like an embarrassment of riches just off the just on the wing.
Riley's a fullback as well, really. He's not a winger. So, in a few years we'll probably see him and Alfie battling it out. So,
one on the wing, one at fullback.
Yeah. But no, I mean, he makes a few mistakes, but he's a kid, so I really ain't got an issue. And as long as he learns from them mistakes. He's quick as well, isn't he? He was quick to finish that try. He had to get on outside. And he's dangerous. He's a dangerous runner.
He's excellent, absolutely excellent. Jake Connor kicked the ball out on the full with 5-6 minutes to go. I felt really calm at that point because Connor hasn't done anything wrong this whole year. So kick out on the full, I was just like, so what? Now, a lot of fans at that point did think, right, that's it for me.
He
had to go for that because the opportunity presented.
At the end of the day, if he kicks it, everyone goes, well, that were amazing. Yeah. But we've said, that's the player Jake Connor is.
Yeah.
He threw a ball into touch against St Helens, and then the next week he put Ryan Hall in space and we scored. He's going to go for 40-20s and they'll go out on full. But then next week he might rock up and kick a 40-20 that changes the momentum of the game, and everyone will go, Jake Connor's amazing. These are the players that we've wanted in the team. So to me, you've got to just ride with them.
You've got to take the rough with the smooth.
Yeah,
the juice is worth the squeeze. Sometimes he is going to kick that 40-20. Sometimes,
I mean, I prefer him to go for it.
Absolutely. Well, 100%.
Everyone looked at
welcome to the Jake Connor podcast again.
Everyone looked when Wire signed Mark Sneed and said,
what a crap signing that is. Yeah, that's what I said too.
You did. But certainly online, a lot of people were like, well, why didn't we should be getting him and moving Jake Connor somewhere else?
Leeds Rhinos should sign Mark Sneed. Who said that?
There were people online saying we should be signing
drinking
Mark
terps.
Sneed.
That's what they were doing. Drinking terps and going on X.
Because Warrington are doing really well with him, aren't they?
Because Mark Sneed's the best player.
But that's what I was going to say. Everyone's fascinated with his controlling sevens. But I don't think everyone really... Connor isn't really what you would describe a natural seven, but he takes us round the field better than people that we've had there in the past, and he's more likely and he's more likely to win a game than anyone else. I'd also include Croft in that. I think Connor's turned into the man of the side where we look to him to make something happen.
Do you think it's first time in his career that somebody's given him that job? He's always been shifted around, hasn't he? Brad seems to have gone, you're running show.
I think so. He said, didn't he, when he got man at match at Magic?
It was game before, wasn't it?
No. He got interviewed at Magic. He said that Brad's asked him to be more creative and take the shackles off, but he's felt that he can't. He's the one that's got to take the shackles off. It's not Brad saying don't do it. Where he said, I've had coaches in the past that have said don't do stuff. But I think a lot of his old coaches have played in fullback, which we saw at the start of the year didn't really suit us. To me, he's not. His best position is where he is now at 7.
100%. And I've never seen him have a massive run of games at other clubs at 7. when he played well for Hull, didn't he? But he were all over at shop.
He was at fullback, wasn't he?
Centre. They played him a lot at centre, and he's not.
He always scored against us at the same try.
He's not a centre to me.
No
chance.
He should be where he is at 7.
Yeah.
7 and stays at 7. And then Ryan Hall doing what Ryan Hall does best, scoring crucial tries at crucial tries at crucial moments. What a finish! But the Hanley run, it is a captain's run that gets us.
I couldn't believe how they didn't stop him.
Yeah.
He was like, he must have had that much determination that he knew we needed. And then I thought Callum had scored.
Yeah, I did.
Well, look who it was: Hanley, Watkins, and then Hall.
Even the pass by Lackey, though, absolutely dialed in straight to Hall.
That's not an easy pass to make. That
left to right, across two players,
across, absolute bullet.
So I saw Betfred put up something where Bevan French put Kerrigan in a hole against Lee online, and I said that's just like Miller did a better pass to Ryan Hall to win the game,
to win it.
Like, it was outstanding, and that's something where I've said we need to look. He needs to improve. Like, I'd love to be able to see him coming out of the back, and that's what you want from your fullback. You've got a 3-on-2, and he can whiz the ball across the centre, hit the winger straight away, and we've just seen put Ryan Hall in a metre of space, and he's such a big man. You're not knocking him out.
But that pass was just on the money.
It's just in a crucial moment.
It's a bit like what we're saying about Jake Connor. You want him to try that, don't you?
Yeah. And he needs to hit that pass,
and he's nailed it.
The fact
you don't
he's
want
got
him
it in
to
his
just pass it to Harry Newman and say, you deal with it.
No, yeah.
You need to make that, because he wouldn't have scored.
No.
It needed to be that fast.
It needed to be that quick, that accurate, and at that exact moment.
But I think it was actually like they couldn't have defended it.
You're not good. What?
You're not
can't defend from there
because as soon as it got to Hall, Martin did everything right. He showed him outside, and then he went to knock him into touch, but Hall just like bounced him off.
Yeah,
there was nothing. I think it was.
God bless Martin. There's no way.
There were nothing. But he just gets his feet in the right place. His feet are just in the field of play. Gives himself enough room. His feet are in the air, and he's just plants ball. It's just what he's been doing for.
But he makes that look so simple.
Muscle memory.
It really isn't at all. But and again, it's just something that maybe even KR fans, as Leeds fans, we are so used to Ryan Hall in that position. And I was screaming, as in, for the try before he'd even finished it.
Oh yeah,
must have been 2 seconds prior. I just thought he's definitely going to finish this. Soon as Lackey smashed that ball, I thought
he's going in.
I think the whole ground stood up and were he's going to score. He's going to score. Yeah. And then he flies over in the corner. It's so normal to us. I bet even KR fans thinking, we've seen that before.
I mean,
against FC.
KR fans were loving it.
And against FC.
And the thing is, though, when you look at like what he's doing for us against KR, he got a bad injury.
Yeah.
Like, and people are saying, he's old. He might not recover that well. Well,
2 weeks.
That's your
2
recovery.
weeks. I tell you what, if that's... Yeah. There's no issue, is there?
No. And he's the best winger ever. To ever touch.
He's certainly the best Super League winger ever.
To touch
It reminded me a bit when...
he's so good.
What Australian fullback where he broke his...
Billy Slater.
Billy Slater broke his collarbone.
Oh, yeah, broke his collarbone
trying to tackle him. It reminded me a bit like that. Not that I like giving praise to other team much, but their young wingers are really good, aren't they?
I like Harvey Barron. I think he's a very good player.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Other than Martin, I thought they've got some good kids there, haven't they?
Yeah.
Other than that,
not loads of old men.
Is going there. On to the stats pack. Lucky Miller, 209 metres.
Is that right?
Ryan Hall, 218 metres. Harry Newman, 114 metres. Ash Hanley, 219 metres.
From our special inside information.
These are from our shadow member of the Lot Pod. He may well hear this and want us to formally give him the credit. But currently it's shrouded in mystery. He's like,
we get better stats because the Super League website ones are rubbish.
Yeah.
So these are accurate.
He's like our version of the Stig from Top Gear.
Yeah.
He may want to stay a mystery, but he also may be listening to this.
I just wanted to point that out because people will be checking him against Super League.
These are not from Super League, our stats. Right. We get them from elsewhere, but he'll be listening to this and he may not want us to reveal exactly where we get these from. Yeah, he may want to get paid. Riley Lum, 134. Jake Connor, 125. Brodie Croft, 112. KP, 121. Callum Watkins, 127. Sam Lasoni, 111. That is sheer.
That's a lot of people over me, isn't it?
Dominance. And then just off the back of that, Mick got 97, which is...
He didn't play many minutes.
No, he didn't. Cam Smith got 81 on his return. James McDonald, 88. So some absolutely beast meters there. And again, just a few for the top tackles. Bestie of the pod, Jared got 60. James McDonald got 45. And Morgan Gannon got 35. Lackey Miller, 23 runs. Ryan Hall, 22 runs. And meters with the ball, of course, Ash Hanley tops the charts for those. So it's now time for us to decide our Matt Frawley Fast Signs Player of the Match. But just before we choose our votes, we'd love it if you played along with us at home. Please comment below on this video on YouTube with your selection for your Matt Frawley Fast Sign Player of the Match. And let's see if you agree with us. Who wants to go first this week for their nomination?
Yeah, because
right, I've got 3 again.
No pressure.
I know what you're going to say.
You know, I'm going to say no pressure, but we do have Lackey Miller on...
What's he on? 4.
3.
And he needs 5.
And he needs 5. No pressure.
Well,
not trying to sway this vote.
I'm going to tell you now.
Not trying to sway this vote.
He ain't getting mine. There's 3, so there's Miller, there's Lasoni, and there's Watkins. But I'm going to go Watkins.
Going to go Cal. Got some big meters. 121 meters.
I just think he's all class, and I think what he's added to the team now. I forgot how good he was.
Yeah, I did.
And you see him now, and
and that's okay.
And we've seen him as a centre at Leeds, but
we never saw Callum Watkins back row, did we?
No. He's as good a back row as he was as centre.
Oh yeah.
And like I said on the review,
Callum can kick.
Yeah, he can. He's kicked for us. When him
jumping back 40 minutes.
Go back. When him and KP went off on Friday, we lost. And obviously we mentioned KP, but we lost a lot.
I think when he wasn't. It's so undervalued. How not within I'm sure it's not within the team, but as fans, you undervalue how hard it is as a skill to go into the line, know you're going to get absolutely levelled, and deliver a perfect pass. And he does it all. He does it with incredible. So he would be my man of the match.
So Duncan says Callum Watkins. Producer Chris, you've had some time to think. No pressure. Chairman of the Lackey Miller fan club.
Well, I've got 3 as well. Lackey's 1.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Ash Hanley,
of course,
or Callum Watkins. I'm going Ash.
You're going Ash?
I thought his leadership were outstanding all the way through that game. Yeah. Not going Lockie, sorry.
It's going to be 1-1-1.
Oh my God. It's going to be 1-1-1.
Well, then if you go Lockie, you can choose, can't you? So it's up to you now.
Lockie Miller? You are the Fast Signs. You are the Matt Frawley Fast Signs Player of the Match.
To be fair, he did play well.
No, he did. I'm not saying he didn't play well. I just thought.
I think any of those could be man of the match. Yeah. And Ryan Hall.
I thought he totally. Do you know when they scored when it bounced off post? I didn't see it bounce off post. I was like, "What are you all doing?"
Yeah. From the Will Price kick.
Yeah. I didn't notice it.
Did it hit the post? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I thought, what position?
I said to Dan, I went with. I said that it just dipped to the. It clipped the post. Yeah. Because there's Jared and.
I just
someone else going with is it Sam Essay?
Yeah, you balls that right.
And it's dropped down and thingy. But again, and just for the Matt Frawley Fast Signs Player of the Match, I thought Ryan Hall could have quite easily.
I think, to be fair, when you win, you could pick a few.
Yeah.
You can make a case for...
and that's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
That you've not got one player that's standing out.
Well, last year in Pack, it used to be a Ledsky, and that were it.
It's been a Ledsky for, God,
and
many years.
Matt Frawley won 4 in a row, so what does that
4 in a row.
Yeah.
So this is Lackey's third? Fourth?
I don't know, you'd have to go about
I think it's his third. Congratulations, Lackey Miller. You are the Matt Frawley Fast Science Player of the Match, and that puts you on 3, potentially 4.
I think it's 4.
Almost.
I think it's 4.
It could be 4. It's almost named the Lackey Miller Fast Signs Player of the Match. We'll move on to some contract news for the Rhinos this week as Tom Holroyd signs a new deal which keeps him at Leeds until the end of the 2028 season. Producer Chris, this just makes sense to sign a promising young forward.
Totally, and Wigan fans thought they'd signed him.
Going to sign for Wigan.
Thought they'd signed him. They were nailed on, saying
Tom Holroyd hates
signed.
Wigan.
I know he's signed.
Yeah, they did.
He told me he hates Wigan.
Yeah, you've got to sign players like that up, haven't you? And you saw on Friday what
meant a lot to him. That
there's not many
try
to find quality English props is hard to do.
It's just as what you were saying about Sam earlier. You've got to weigh up, like, if he does go, where you're getting someone off that's not a quarter spot, that's young and as good as him.
And,
to replace Holroyd, you'd be putting a quarter spot to do the job that he does.
Yeah,
I think hopefully over the next couple of years, he's had a rough couple of years before this. I think if he can get a run of games, injury-free, suspension-free...
You sort of look back to his form was it early 2023 when he hit the ground running?
He was scoring tries for fun.
He was scoring tries. It's there.
And then he got injured, didn't he?
I think it's just getting on the field.
And
that's his biggest...
Before that, he had a few disciplinary issues, didn't he, when he knocked about 5 players out in one go. But it's a no-brainer to get him tied up.
I just think that they're in quality English props that you can go out and you can go, right, if we get rid of Holroyd, like Chris said, who are you getting in to replace him? Because that's what you've got to look at. And
it's
for me, you'd be saying, right, we've got to use a quarter spot there to replace the job that he does. So I think, really happy that he's signed. It's a good business front club.
Absolutely over the moon for Tom Holroyd and the Rhinos. Just moving on, we are joining forces with Bry from 6 again, and we're heading back to the Brotherhood Bar in Leeds for a Super League mid-season review special. We're going to be joined by 2 legends of the game, Terry O'Connor and Yestin Harris are both joining us to review the Super League season so far. It's on Tuesday, the 1st of July at 7 o'clock at the Brotherhood Bar, the best sports bar in town. Tickets are going to go on sale this week, so make sure you follow our Instagram page at lot_pod on Instagram. You find out when all our tickets go on sale there. We can't wait for that. We've had 2 previous shows at Brotherhood. They've both been absolutely brilliant nights. We'd love to have you down. And again, we'd just like to thank Terry O'Connor and Yestin for coming down and joining us for that event. We absolutely cannot wait. Some other massive news came out of the Rhinos and Hull KR and the NRL earlier this week, as the Rhinos versus Hull KR in Las Vegas has now officially been announced. This match marks the 2nd consecutive year that Super League fixtures have featured in the NRL's Rugby League Las Vegas event, which obviously showcases the sport on a massive international stage over in America. Super League taking centre stage in Vegas. I don't know how to pronounce the stadium.
Allegiance, innit?
Allegiant. Is that how it is? Allegiant Stadium.
Thought it were a lion.
I thought it was a lion. And what we're going?
I don't
care.
At the massive stadium in Las Vegas on the 28th of February 2026. There are some other matches. Some NRL fixtures are, of course, happening. The Canterbury Bulldogs take on St George Illawarra Dragons, and the Newcastle Knights also take on the North Queensland Cowboys. So I heard this being asked around Headingley, inside Headingley. It was the first question, like other people would ask you, are you going to Vegas? So are you going to Vegas, Duncan?
Yes.
Yes, of course.
I am booked on.
Can't wait.
And I cannot wait. It is going to be... I was really gutted I didn't make the World Club Challenge in Australia, because it's something that I've always... And I said to myself
against Melbourne
at that point, that I would love to watch Leeds Rhinos in a different country. And I'm gonna.
You're gonna.
No longer will I be watching them in Las Vegas. I can actually watch them in Las Vegas. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Are you still pretending that you're not going?
I've never said I'm not going. I've just not said I'm going. I don't know whether I'm going.
in this pretend limbo.
I haven't booked it anyway.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean anything, does it?
No.
I have looked at the club's package.
I thought that looked all right.
It was until you look into it, and I'd be going on my own.
For
and
5
then
nights.
It's 500 quid extra for it.
Yeah.
Single supplement.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So,
someone should just sponsor us to go.
That's what we need to do.
That's what we
isn't it?
need,
Let's
yeah.
work on that.
Sponsor us
So
to go.
I'll have a look at some of the different things. Got to be aware when I've been looking as well, though. If you book it separate, the hotels charge you an extra fee per night.
Yeah.
So don't get caught out on that. I think it's quite expensive as well.
Some of them range. I think like they can go for. Some of them can be quite expensive, but some can be like $50.
Yeah, I don't really want to go for 5 nights neither. So
no, I think we're doing 4. A fly out from Heathrow on a Thursday, go via Kazakhstan to keep the cost down, and then
98-hour flight.
Come back
5
on the
changes.
Yeah, come back on the Monday.
So you can go to Schiphol and get a cheaper flight there. But I don't know whether I'd end up out of Amsterdam.
Just end up in Amsterdam for a week. Freezing cold Amsterdam.
Yeah. I'm gonna weigh it up and see, and then make a decision.
But it's going to be amazing. I mean, we spoke about it when Wigan and Warrington went with the Panthers and everyone else from the NRL, and I said at the time, I don't think, and I still stand by it, I don't think rugby league has ever looked better.
Oh, it were amazing
in terms of its coverage, the engagement, the entertainment around the razzmatazz. It was so American. I didn't care. Everything I watched, everything I saw, I thought the game has never ever been packaged better than that weekend. And obviously the NRL do it better than rugby league than anyone.
As long as we get Vossi commentating, and
Vossi will be commentating. Sky will be there.
And they had that massive studio, didn't they? And they actually gave it proper coverage, not 5 minutes before game.
Yeah.
John Wilkin.
Nearly swore then. But this podcast hasn't had a swear word, which is incredibly impressive. I think it's going to be amazing. The Rhinos are also working with their kit partner Oxen to release a special edition shirt and some merchandise commemorating the event. Of course they are. Vegas 2026 can not wait. That'll be an amazing game and an amazing trip for all Rhinos fans. We've had lots of really nice feedback from our podcast with Gary Everington, so thank you very much. It is still available to watch over on our YouTube channel, so go over there and check it out. And just a quick thanks again to Gary for coming on and speaking with us. And then to finish up, it's now time to look ahead to the Rhinos' next fixture, which is against the Scruffs down at Castleford.
It's stolen your segue, hasn't it? From Las Vegas to Cas Vegas.
Duncan, he cheese salad me. Absolutely poo-pooed. It's highlighted there, but I've had to skip over it and ad hoc.
Sorry.
The Rhinos versus the Tigers next. Any changes to the side? Is it just as simple as Jack coming in or Jenkins coming in?
Both. Both, I think.
For Bentos.
Probably, yeah. Bentley didn't have his best game.
I say both, but then I haven't thought who you drop.
I'm about to say, you're right, chucking him in. Who you slipping out?
Jack's got to come in for Bentley, just to give us balance on the bench.
CJ Filasone?
No, Lasona keeps his shirt.
Cooper might miss out.
Depends if it is an injury. If he's fit, he plays.
Does he though? Right, so Bentley's gone. Jack's come in.
You'd play him.
You can't drop Lasona because he's not done. You can't drop someone that's not done anything wrong. And I think this
is a good game for him as well as Cass, because they're not a huge side.
They've just signed. They've got Tom and Moan, haven't they? So they're a bigger pack than when we played them last time. They still are rubbish, but they've got one big prop. No, I think
so. It's just Jack then.
You can't. I'm not saying. Obviously, it might surprise a few people because being Lasone's.
You've waxed critical about him tonight,
but for me, when you've got someone who is playing well, and the whole thing is if you play well, you keep your shirt, then he stays in. And it's hard on Cooper because he's not done anything wrong. He's just been injured. So he's just got to wait his chance. Because
It's a good point.
Unless the only other option would be Cooper comes in for Bentley. But it depends on the balance of what he wants on the bench.
Would you start Cam?
I personally think yes, because
rubbish.
I don't think the reason I'd start Cam is because I don't think he's a bench player. I don't think he gives you.
He doesn't offer.
I don't think he gives you the same impact that a Watkins would. I don't think there's many players that will give you the similar impact. Again, it's all about balance, and I think if you have Smith starting and Watkins coming on, it gives us better balance.
Tell you what, it's been a few years since we've had these headaches.
It is,
especially in pack.
But I think
it's been about 10 years. Yeah.
Personally, I think Cooper. The choice is who comes in. For me, Bentley misses out, and it's who comes in out of Cooper or Jack.
I think we can win this game
with 14 men.
With 9, but I think we have the creativity.
Don't jinx it
to beat Cass.
Probably get 4 sent off.
Yes.
without Jack there.
Yeah,
but then the flip side of that is I want to see Jack play more games.
It depends what we want to do going forward. After Cass, because if he's wanting a 2-prong hooking attack like we've been called, then like we've been saying we missed against Hull.
Might Andy Ackers be back?
Didn't he say 2 weeks?
Yeah, I think it's week after.
But then that again, then you're talking that throws up.
That's just mental. Then when Ackers is fit, I'm sorry. That's just too many good players.
There'll be three.
We need to sell some players.
There'll be three decent players. Well, I say decent. They're all decent, but like there'll be 3 players who you could make a strong case to be in the 17 that'll be sat on their hands.
Literally sat on their hands in stand. Literally,
but I do think it's Bentley that misses out. I think it's who. I think we've actually gone past him covering as a prop. I was thinking this on Friday night. I think
a bit beyond that now.
We've
got the squad.
We've improved our levels and standard. That don't get me wrong. I think he can do a job there when relied on, but I think it's got to be. We've got injuries in the pack, so Bentley's filling in at prop, not you're on the bench and you're going to cover the middle. So yeah, for me, Bentley misses out. I think he'll go Cooper. I don't think he'll go Jack. I think if Jack was going to play, he would have. If Jack was going to stay in the team, he'd have played against Hull FC. And he was very clear, wasn't he, about them 2 games that Jack had to give him some more minutes. I think Jack will come back into the side at some point because we'll want to rest players, and we've got that ability to be able to do it now.
That luxury, yeah.
But I think it'll probably be Jack that misses out.
When do we play Salford again?
Not soon enough.
Rest everyone. So yeah, I think Bentley misses out and Cooper will come in, and that'll be and then it's as is.
Predictions for this one?
Leeds by 14.
14?
14.
Producer Chris?
It's a difficult one because Cass are crap, aren't they?
Yeah, they're crap, but they'll raise the game.
They'll raise the game, and
it's cup final, isn't it?
We never seem to turn it on.
It could be a big crowd as well there because they've just won a game. I know it's against Salford, but they've just won.
It'll be their biggest crowd of the year. Always is.
And
it's their cup final, isn't it? They love it.
We've already sold out the away end. Well, they're saying they're going to put more tickets on for us.
Have they? Because I ain't got a ticket yet.
Yeah.
You can buy them from Cass, though, can't you?
Just buy them from Cass and walk around. Yeah. But I think I don't know. I think 14 points. I think he'll probably want a more polished performance than what he had against FC.
I'm going 20 by 20. I think we're going to win it. I think it'll be close, and I think then we might pull away.
Just get away. I'm going to say Leeds by 52. Thanks to Duncan. Thanks to producer Chris. Thanks for you all for watching. Thanks for you all for listening. If you are listening on Spotify or iTunes, please do leave us a 5-star review. It just bumps us up those podcast charts more than you'll know. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram for those tickets for the live event with Yestin Harris and Terry O'Connor. And you can also follow us on TikTok. Just search The Lot Pod. And we'll see you all for the Castleford review. Take care.